welcome back to another video. Now today we're doing something a little bit different. I know you like to see my predictions, so today we're going to start with the FA Cup predictions. It's FA Cup round 1 at the weekend and we've got 40 fixtures to go through. We won't talk about all of them, but we will predict all of them. We'll talk about 12 or 13 of our favourite games, who we think is going to win, and then at the end we'll leave the rest of the fixtures, who we think is going to win those ones. How are we doing, Leon?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks mate, how are you?
Yeah, not too bad. We'll get straight into it though with Friday night's game, Harrogate Town going up against 9th tier Skelmersdale. What's your thoughts on this one, Leon?
I would probably say we could maybe look at a bit of an upset maybe if Skelmersdale were at home. However, I think Harrogate Town, I think, you know, at home I think they're possibly the more likely team. So what about you, Matt? What do you think?
Yeah, I think Harrogate look quite good. They're in League 2. It's just it's too much of a jump for Skelmersdale to pull off a scalp here, especially away. What's your prediction for this one, mate?
I'm going to go for a Harrogate Town 4-1 victory.
4-1. I'm going to follow that up with a 4-0 to Harrogate. I wish Skelmersdale best of luck. I always want the underdogs to do well, but I think Harrogate are going to have too much for them. Moving on to the next game then, we've got Bolton Wanderers from League 2 going up against League 1 Railwaymen Crew. Now Bolton have actually won the FA Cup 4 times. How amazing is that? They are a big club and it's a surprise to see them down in League 2. They're going up against Crew, who are actually in the division above. What do you think of this one, Leon?
I think this could be a really interesting game. Now Crew have already gone to Bolton this season and got a result against them in the EFL Trophy. And so I think we could kind of see a similar game pan out for this one, as previously they got a 3-2 win at Bolton's ground. So for this one I've gone for a 2-1 victory for Crew. What about you, Matt?
Ooh, I'm going to go for the opposite. I'm going to go for Bolton to win this 2-1, so that's quite interesting. We've both gone for the opposite result to each other. Next up then, we have 2 League 1 teams locking horns. That is Charlton Athletic and Plymouth Argyle. Now Charlton Athletic, obviously a big club coming down from the Championship, going up against Plymouth, who obviously came up from League 2. What's your thoughts on this one?
I think I can see a Charlton win for this one. I'm back going to back Charlton. I think at home they'll be a lot stronger. And I think Plymouth, they just might come up a bit short. I'm not really taking league form into this because I don't think you can with the FA Cup because it throws up a lot of strange victories. But I'm going to back Charlton for this one. I'm going for 1-0. What about you, Matt?
Once again, I'm going for the opposite of what you think. I'm going to back Plymouth to win this, the away team to pull off a win here. Charlton 1, Plymouth 2. The next game then is Cheltenham Town going up against 7th tier South Shields. What do we think of this one, Leon?
I think it's a good matchup. I think I'd favour, as I said previously in one of the fixtures, I'd favour South Shields massively, probably a bit more for an upset if they were at home. However, away from home you tend to see teams don't get the upset so much. I'm going to back a Cheltenham Town win 3-1. What about you, Matt?
Funnily enough, I've gone for the exact same prediction. I think South Shields might get a goal, but Cheltenham will have too much for them. They are doing really well in League 2, and they were obviously in the playoffs in League 2 last year, so it's about time they got promoted into League 1. I think they're going to be too strong for them. 3-1. The next game then is Eastbourne versus Blackpool. Now Blackpool won the FA Cup back in 1953 and they are quite a big club, going up against 6th tier Eastbourne. But Eastbourne are at home, can that play to their advantage? What do you think of this one?
I think this is the battle of the seasides, this one. You've got Eastbourne seaside against Blackpool seaside. And I'm going to go for an upset for this one. I think Eastbourne, they just might get away with one. I'm going to go for a really edgy, really cagey 1-0 Eastbourne win.
Ooh, I'm going to go for Blackpool. I could possibly see an upset in this one with Eastbourne being at home, but I just think Blackpool will have too much for them, and I think Blackpool will win this 2-1. Next up then, we have 2 non-league teams locking horns. That's Havant and Waterlooville versus Cray Valley. Now, I can remember last time Havant and Waterlooville got quite far in this FA Cup. They went up against Liverpool and they lost 5-2. Do we see them winning this one, mate?
Yeah, I think we have to. I think, you know, with Cray Valley Paper Mills, I just think, you know, a lot of people won't have actually heard of them because of how far down in the football pyramid they are. But I can't see past Havant and Waterlooville win. And I think, you know, maybe this year again, how far could they go if they get a decent draw in the next round? So yeah, 2-0 for Havant and Waterlooville.
I also predict a Havant and Waterlooville win, but I think it'll be a tighter game than that. I think 2-1, but Havant and Waterlooville to win. Next up then, we have Hayes and Yedding going up against Carlisle United from League 2. Thoughts on this one?
I think it's going to be a Carlisle United win. I've gone for 4-0 to Carlisle. I think they're just possibly a bit too strong for their opponents in this fixture, and so I'm going to back them. What about you, Matt?
I'm also going to back Carlisle, but I do fancy Hayes and Yedding to get a goal. I'm going to go for 3-1 to the Cumbrians. Next up then we have two of the informed teams in League One, Hull City going up against Fleetwood Town. Now these two have already locked horns in League One, Fleetwood winning 4-1 at Fleetwood's ground. This time at Hull, will that play to their advantage?
I don't know. I think once again we could possibly see this game going to penalties. I think, as Matt said, both teams are in form in the league. I think they're both doing quite well, and so I'm going to go for a 2-2 for this one.
I also agree with that. I'm going to go for a draw here. I'm going to go for 1-1 though. Now next up we have one of the best looking fixtures of round 1, and it's Ipswich Town going up against Portsmouth, two heavyweights from Division 3. Portsmouth obviously have a good history in the FA Cup. They got to 2 finals 10 and 12 years ago, obviously winning that one in 2008. It's a tough one to predict. I think they're both going to be concentrating on the league this season, trying to get into the Championship. I just think Ipswich are going to have too much for them. 2-1 Ipswich.
Well, I've gone for a draw for this one. I think it could go to penalties. I think both very strong names in League One, and so I've gone for a draw.
Okay, next up then we have Lincoln City, who are flying high in League One, going up against Forest Green of League Two. What's your thoughts on this one?
I've gone for a Forest Green Rovers win. I've gone for a bit of an upset. I've gone for a 2-1 win for the Forest Green. I think just the FA Cup, if it can throw up some shocks, and I really think this could be one of the games.
Yeah, okay. I fancy the Imps to win this. Obviously doing well in League One. Obviously that will be their priority this season, but I do fancy them to win this as well. I'm going to go for Lincoln to win 2-1. Now next up we have Malden and Tiptree going up against Morecambe. Malden and Tiptree last year beat Leyton Orient. What's your thoughts on this one?
I think I'm going to go for a Malden and Tiptree win. I think that last season they're going to get another upset, and this time unfortunately it will be Morecambe on the end of the defeat. So I've gone for Malden and Tiptree 2-1 win over Morecambe.
I also think there's going to be an upset here. I've gone for Malden and Tiptree again, but I think there'll be more goals in it. I'm going to go for a Malden and Tiptree 3-2 win. I expect a really good game here. Now next up you have Sunderland, arguably the biggest club in the division at this stage, going up against Mansfield Town of League Two, who are struggling at the moment. Now Sunderland have won the FA Cup twice before. In 1973 when they won it, they were in the 2nd division, which is really interesting. What do we think of this one?
I'm going to back a Sunderland win for this one. I think just, you know, when you talk about Sunderland, you speak about how big a club they are, you know, not so long ago in the Premier League. And so I think the FA Cup will be a big chance for them to kind of push back up and show teams what they're about, and that they are still a big club who are trying to find their way back up the division. So I'm gone for a Sunderland 2-0 win.
Okay, yeah, I've also backed Sunderland to win this, but Mansfield to give them a good game. I'm going for Sunderland 2, Mansfield Town 1. Now the final game we're going to talk about is Wigan Athletic against Chorley. Wigan Athletic won the FA Cup only 7 years ago. I can remember that. It doesn't even feel like that long ago. And now they're in League One, having to play Chorley from the 6th tier. Now Chorley finished bottom of the National League last season, and is this one going to be too much for them to win?
I think it could be. I think Wigan, again, like I said, Sunderland previously, they'll want to show the size of the club, the stature. They want to keep the good name of the club going, and so I think I can see a 2-1 win for Wigan in this game.
Okay, I'm going to go for Wigan as well, but I expect loads of goals in this one for some reason. I'm going to go for Wigan Athletic 4, Chorley 2. And that completes the fixtures we're going to talk about. I'll leave the fixtures that we're going to be predicting but not talking about there. That's what me and Leon predict for all of the rest of the games. Let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree with what we're predicting there. There's plenty of good games on over the weekend. I'm excited to see the FA Cup coming back. And like I said, let me know down in the comments if you did like the video as well, and subscribe. We'll also do an FA Cup predictions video for round 2 when that comes around. It wouldn't surprise me if many games are called off over the weekend because of COVID, but they will be played out at some point. But yeah, thanks for watching this video guys, and we'll see you in the next video guys. Peace out.